Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows from shows ranging from the 90s to today.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany.
And I'm Cynthia. And today we are going on part 2 from the last episode. So this one is episode 15, titled That Is the Question.
Of season 2.
And it aired February 17th, 1999. And
The synopsis is:
on Dawson's advice, Joey attempts to heal her romance with Jack, which has been left shattered by rumors. Meanwhile, Jack and Andie's father arrives in town for a get-together, which brings out family tensions, which leads Jack confronting his innermost secrets. Pacey sets out to ruin Mr. Peterson by investigating and challenging his authority over his teaching methods. Also, Jen thinks that Ty may not be the guy for her when she learns of his stereotypical comments. So we started off with Pacey finishing his suspension.
okay, so Pacey is in Dawson's bed. Which is funny.
Yeah.
Watching a movie. And then it was funny though when Pacey says, Joey gets the bed.
Yeah.
And Dawson's like, don't get me started.
Yeah, so we find out that Pacey had spent his whole week of suspension at Dawson, so he wasn't at home. Because, I'm sure we don't see it, we don't hear about, anything, but I'm sure his dad gave him hell for getting suspended,
But why wouldn't his dad want him to be at their house for punishment?
I don't know. Just because he knows that they don't get along well. I don't know.
It's just weird. I'm like, your son got suspended. I'm sure you know that. Why wouldn't you want him at your house? Like, you're a police officer.
Right.
It's like he has, authority in town, but not in his own family. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And I could have easily seen, his brother Doug, go on and, first a suspension, then you're causing trouble on the streets, and then you're in jail. I could totally see him, going through that, his lecture on being good and everything to Pacey if he was part of the plot. Yeah, so I was just surprised that, on that part of Pacey, they didn't, make things worse for him there,
Yeah, because they could have.
And then we also find out that Pacey has not talked to Andie at all either during this whole week because of their fight.
Well, yeah, because he was like, didn't he ask how's Jack? And then he said, how's Joey? And then how's Andie? I'm like, oh my God, Pacey.
Yeah.
So clearly he's talked to no one.
Yeah.
But it's weird because if Jack and Joey are still together, she's not going to Dawson's yet.
I guess.
To hang out.
Yeah, not
so
yet.
I guess, because Pacey's basically living with Dawson. So he would see at least Joey, but I guess he wouldn't if she's always with Jack. I don't know.
Right.
I just thought that was a little weird. I'm like, wait a minute. You wouldn't see Joey?
Right. And then Jen asks Dawson to join her and Ty at his spot, the club, but Dawson doesn't really know that yet. And then,
by the way, this is where they go out.
Ty and Jen?
All of them, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. She just invites Dawson first. But then at school, we find out that Jack is being verbally bullied about his sexual orientation. And then he jokes about him and Joey having sex outside of school and then having a going in party, versus a coming out party, which I didn't find funny, but I guess he was just trying to make light of the whole situation. And then Dawson checks on Joey after Jack leaves, and that's when he asks Joey to go to the club with the others, with him and Jen and Ty. Joey says she can't because she's studying with Jack. And then Pacey is back in his English class with Mr. Peterson since he got suspended. And
yep, he's back from his suspension.
Yep, and he actually was able to make up his missing assignments. Wasn't it when you got suspended you couldn't do that, I think? Or
I was never suspended, so I don't know.
I thought maybe you weren't allowed to
do homework.
Yeah, you had to get that incomplete grades. I don't know.
Maybe for us, but I don't know. I wasn't suspended, but I thought it was something when Pacey said, I did my homework. I didn't want you to fail me, sort of thing. This is just so bad. He's suspended and, he has to do his homework just because he doesn't want to get suspended or to fail. I'm like, oh my God. See, that teacher really is something. Now I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Because Pacey did spit on him, how can they be in the same classroom together?
What do you mean? Like,
How can the student
mm-hmm.
and the teacher be in the same classroom together?
Like you think he would have to be in a different class after that? Like different
Yeah,
teacher?
like, because nothing was really resolved.
Yeah. And it was,
Because the student didn't apologize, the teacher
Mhm.
didn't apologize.
yeah.
All that happened was the student got suspended. Well, guess what? He's back.
Mm-hmm.
So I would feel like there would be some tension still
Yeah.
because no one apologized.
Mm-hmm.
And that they would have to move one of them,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's the teacher or the student.
Yeah, because that probably would have been considered
Yeah, what's
um
the word?
assault,
Probably.
harassment.
Yeah. And I just think it'd be weird to throw them both back in the same classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And especially because Pacey, has kind of accused him of failing him,
Mm-hmm.
that they wouldn't put you back in the same classroom. At least I don't think they'd do it for us.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'd be like, I don't want another problem, which could be a lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just keep you two apart.
Yep. And then the teacher does give Pacey his poem back from last week and gave him a failing grade.
Of course.
And the only thing he told Pacey to do was write better, not anything specific like Pacey asked.
Yeah, see, bad teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Only wanting him to fail, and that's it. That's not a teacher. That's not what teachers are supposed to do.
Yeah.
At all. That guy is too old. He needs to go home and retire.
And then with Pacey back at school, he's still not talking to Andie, even though they're looking at each other across the lunch room, until Dawson tells him he should go talk to her. So he does. And then, they're still arguing, Pacey's like, you didn't call me. And he's like,
She was just
it
trying to
goes
figure
both
things.
ways.
Yeah, and she was just trying to figure things out.
Yeah. And they're just both being stubborn. Well, she's being stubborn the most, And
Yeah, because he tried to talk to her,
Mhm.
and she didn't want to hear it.
Mhm.
And she never even asked him any questions, like he said the last episode.
Mhm.
So it's in her hands.
Yeah. But she still wants him to apologize.
But why? Okay, and here's the thing: he wasn't just sticking up for anybody. It
Right.
was her brother.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that make it even better?
Mhm.
Like, if your boyfriend is sticking up for your brother, you're going to be like, oh, yay.
Mhm.
Not like hating him and like trying to avoid him. That's not what you do.
Yeah. I do know at the end of this episode when they do apologize to each other, Pacey was like, I never thought about how this would affect you, his actions. So, but
It doesn't make any sense.
yeah.
Because once again, it was for her brother. So
Mhm. And then Joey and Jack plan a date for tonight for
where
Joey.
she's going to cook.
Yep. But then right after that, both Andie and Jack get called into the guidance counselor's office. At first I thought it was going to be about their mother, something bad happened with her, but instead it turns out to be their dad for the first
I
time.
thought it had something to do about Jack.
Hmm.
And it does.
Yeah. So now after all this
So
time.
were you, okay, so, I've already seen this, so I already knew the dad, but were you shocked, happy, surprised to see the dad? I mean, you haven't seen him all season, and here he is.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised. And, then later we find out that he only showed up because the guidance counselor called him to come into town. So if he never got the call, he probably still would have been stayed over there in Providence,
Yep, MIA.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, he has his perfect little life. Where are they at? Where's he at?
Providence.
Okay, well, yeah, he's got his little life there.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to worry about his wife, his daughter, his son. None of that home life.
Yep.
I mean, he's got it perfect, doesn't he?
Yep.
I mean, I don't know how you can live like that, but apparently he can. And I thought the business was going down.
Right.
So why isn't he back home yet?
I guess it's not all the way down.
It's been a long time since Andie said the business has been down or going down.
Yeah.
Because that was at the beginning of the season she said that. Well, we're now almost at the end.
Right.
It's awfully weird, but okay.
And then we actually did find out during the boating father-son trip that Jack told Dawson that their dad's business isn't really going under it, that he just left them. He just didn't want to be with his family anymore. So,
Yeah, that makes sense because that's what he's showing here.
mhm,
And he even kind of said, like, I didn't really want to come back.
mhm,
It's like, what? Like, those are your kids
yeah,
who should not, okay, besides what's going on with Jack and Andie, like, they should not be left alone with their mom. He
mhm,
needs to be there. I mean, I don't get this.
mhm. I think Andie only said that about her dad because maybe she didn't like want to face the truth of what really happened, so she kind of made that up.
Well, yeah, because she's still daddy's little girl.
Mhm,
And, Jack's like, kind of like, stop it.
mhm,
Like, it doesn't matter what you say to him, how many A's you get.
mhm,
It's not going to matter. Like, he's not coming home, sort of thing.
mhm.
And I agree. I mean, the dad doesn't care.
No. And now that Jack is going to be spending time with his dad, he has to cancel his plans with Joey. And I did feel bad for her because, she really was looking forward to the date.
Oh my gosh, she got dressed up. She
Mhm.
made food. Oh my gosh. Yes, I felt so bad for her.
Yeah. So with her plans changed, she goes to the club with everybody, and that's when they learn that Ty can play the piano and he's really good.
Okay, so when the three of them are sitting there,
Mhm.
Dawson, Jen, and Joey,
Yep.
I love that the three of them can get along.
Me too.
I'm like, okay, since the beginning of the show,
Mhm.
the pilot episode,
Yep.
all, the girls could not get along. And like somebody was always, out of the three of them, somebody was always fighting with somebody.
Mhm.
And now they're sitting there making fun of whatever life situation they're in. And they're just getting along. I'm like, I've never thought I'd see the day where the three of them are sitting there being able to just talk.
Mhm.
Did you?
Yeah, I know. That was surprising.
But you know what? I liked it.
Me too.
I don't like when they're fighting all the time.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times it's not even funny when they're fighting. Like, it's not too dramatic. They're just being dramatic.
Yep.
Like, the storylines aren't dramatic, but they're just annoying. It's not even being dramatic. It's just they're annoying.
Mhm.
Well, now guess what? It's finally something that we can have fun with. The last episode was the three guys together having a good time. And then now it's the three of them
Mhm.
with, the girls with Dawson. So, yes, I like that. So much better.
Me too.
And then Dawson even points it out.
Yeah. I thought it was funny how he said that he's sitting there with the two girls who dumped him, and Jen says she's dating a Bible thumping hypocrite, and Joey says that her boyfriend might be gay, and they all laugh about that.
Well, and then it was funny, like when they get there and the guy and Ty was like, he was ordering them drinks. And then Joey's like, what's in it? And then he's like, oh, surprise or whatever. And Joey's like, I'll take a Coke.
Mhm.
And then Dawson's like, me too. But then as they're getting along, then Joey then wants the drinks for everyone.
Yeah, they're regular.
So did it look like a double date?
Not really.
Because you've got Jen and Ty, and then you got Dawson and Joey.
Yeah, I just saw it
Which
as,
is what I think the writers were going for, which was like, here you go. See, they can all date. And it's like, no, they can't.
yeah, I just saw it as Jen there with Ty, and then Jen's friends came along. That's all I saw it as.
Well, I hope that's all they were aiming towards.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, they just don't work as a couple. They work as friends.
Yeah.
I mean, barely that, but at least we're getting... Okay, I like this season of Friends better than the first season of Friends with Dawson and Joey. What do you think?
Same.
I think they're growing on each other in a better way.
Yeah. And then things start getting intense at dinner with Andie and Jack's dad.
Really intense.
Yeah. So Andie's like, catching him up, trying to, impress him of how good things are going with them.
Well, and especially with her. I'm like, Andie, really?
Yeah. And through all this, Jack is quiet, so his dad points it out, of course, and goes on to say how he had to disrupt his life to come to Capeside after he got the call about the rumors of Jack. And like Joey, he just flats out asks Jack if he's gay.
I know what.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the 90s. What's up with everyone just coming out and asking?
I guess they just don't want to think about it, like wonder. They just want to know, get the answer.
Or is it because the writers didn't want to take that much time?
Maybe both. I don't know.
I just thought it was weird. I'm like, why? It's the 90s. Why is everyone just coming out and asking, like so boldly.
Yeah. Well, with dads, it's different. And Jack answers, why? Would you care? And Jack's dad said that he would because their family has enough problems. They don't need to be adding on to them.
And Jack is not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's what annoyed me.
Yeah, and it made me mad too how his dad said that Jack doesn't care about the family. You know, he of all people should not be saying that.
Yeah, he's not even around
Mm-hmm.
to help take care of the family.
Mm-hmm. And then you just told Jack that it needs to be resolved immediately, and Jack disagrees. But he's really upset.
And I don't blame Jack for being upset and wanting his dad gone. I mean, think about it. They don't, like, Jack and Andie don't even really know their dad.
Right.
I mean, he's what, like the business type? He's like always gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure he wasn't really around even when they were growing up because he was building the business.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really think, they had that relationship with him.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Andie always trying to like impress dad or daddy as she calls him. Like she's a little kid. Like, look what I did. I'm like, Andie, cut it out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think your dad knows you get like straight A's
Mm-hmm.
and you're like the top of your class.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to keep reminding him.
Mm-hmm.
But don't you think that's what she was trying to do, is like remind him, like, hey, remember, everything is kind of like, at least for me, everything's going good.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. Does their dad know that Andie's taking medication?
Yeah, because Jack talks about it later on.
Okay.
During that last scene with him. But at the club, Dawson is dancing with Joey, and that's when they talk about everybody's basically talking about Jack right now.
Well, of course they are.
Yeah, so they talk about Joey asks Dawson if Joey asks Dawson if he's ever thought about Jack being gay or not, and Dawson did admit that he thought about it twice, and then this kind of made it seem like they might be like going back to being a couple, because Dawson's like, do you know him as well as you know me? And Joey says, I can't read his eyes the way I can read yours.
Yeah, and then he said, what are my eyes thinking? Dawson, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
See, Dawson was a supportive friend last episode.
Mm-hmm.
Not this episode. We're going
Yeah.
back to the same old Dawson.
Mm-hmm. And then so at the club at a table, though, this is when Ty and I wrote the wrong name in my notes.
See, this is the problem, though. I get one good episode of Dawson, and then I get 10 bad ones. This is the problem with the show. If you want me to like Dawson, quit giving me bad episodes of him.
Right. I actually did write the right name. Yeah, so Ty asks Jen why Joey would want to be with a fruit fly when it's obvious the chemistry or whatever he said with Dawson and Joey.
Well, he must be blind because there is no chemistry between Dawson and Joey.
Yeah, I can't remember what he said, if he said they were like a good pairing or
Yeah,
good couple.
no, he
or
said
something.
they were a good couple, and
Yeah.
clearly he's blind too because they were not a good couple.
Mhm.
All they did was fight.
Yeah, and we don't even know if he even saw that or not, because he just kind of came out of nowhere.
Right.
Like, because he's not in school with him, right?
No, they are, because remember Jen was outside at the school.
Oh yeah,
and then
yeah,
he
yeah.
walked up to her.
Yeah, okay. I just
So yeah,
can't
they got
remember.
the same. They're in the same school.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so we don't know. I mean, yeah, he was there probably, but we're not aware of what he was seeing, because he was nowhere to be found.
But again, they were only together 6 episodes,
Maybe, yeah.
and then they were broken up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they were together that long.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't even call it them dating.
Mm-hmm. And then Ty gets into it by calling Jack a duck, quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, is a duck. And that's when
That also annoyed me.
Yep. And that's when he told Jen that it was just a choice. He's choosing to be a duck. And Jen says that it's not a choice you make. And that's when Ty's religion comes into play, because he says, that's what they want you to believe. Everything in life is a decision. Nobody has to quack if they don't want to.
I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like with religion, that just kind of gives the wrong idea of the whole topic. I've known people who also believed, in things like that, like Ty. So, I definitely backed up after I did realize, their thought process on that. Because I knew that, like Jen, I wasn't going to be able to really get through to them, and they weren't going to be able to see my side, even though I know what I'm talking about, because no one would voluntarily decide to have this part of their life, their identity, be such a struggle. They wouldn't choose,
Exactly.
you know.
They would rather have the opposite,
Mm-hmm.
where it's all normal and everybody's used to it.
Yeah. So that's why it's not a choice. Definitely not.
No.
And then,
Well, and then going, piggyback from that one is, like, it's like kind of like at the end when Ty's like, oh, to Jen, oh, I can be open-minded. I do not think he can be open-minded, do you?
no.
He hasn't been this whole episode about Jack.
Yep.
He cannot be open-minded, because if he was, he would have already showed that he can be, which is listening, trying to understand. That's not him. He hasn't done it yet.
Yep.
But I do think the only reason why he said that is because he wants Jen to be with him.
Right.
Otherwise, he doesn't give a crap about anybody.
Yep.
So
Do whatever he needs to.
So, what did you think of the scene with Grams and Jen and Ty?
Well,
when they're talking about it again, because he's like, "Oh, are you mad?" And then he brings in Grams to the conversation.
Because this was one that you also showed me beforehand, but I didn't really know anything about Grams before that. So now that I do know her, what she said was surprising, most definitely.
I know, because Jen even says, like, I don't want you two, like, ganging up on me. And that's not what happened.
Yeah.
Tell him what happened.
Well, the beginning of that, Jen was like, how can you think it's wrong? And then Ty says it's a choice. And then Jen was like, so you think it's okay? And Ty's like, no, I think it's wrong. He just said that.
Right.
I'm like, why did they just do that in the same scene? That did not make sense.
No.
So then this is where he says, no, I think it's wrong. It's in the Bible. And that's when he brings Graham in, because he asked her what verse it is. And
he even said, oh, like, your Grams likes me. So, because, obviously Grams found him at, like, Bible study or church or something. So Grams knows he's religious. He knows Grams is religious. So he's like, cool, I'll bring Grams in because I know exactly where she stands. And then, boom, she surprises everyone.
Yep. And then
what did she say?
Well, Ty says first that Jack has to answer to God one day, and that his kind is damaging to the world at large, and that the gay movement has been medically and morally damaging to this country. And that's when Graham cuts in with her thoughts. She says only God can judge Jack, and all that Jack needs in this world is love and tolerance and support from his fellow men. He must feel scared and alone, and let's save judgment from someone more experienced than you.
Exactly.
And that got Ty to shut up.
And then he's like, oh, crap. How did Grams turn?
Yeah.
It's like, no, because Grams has her own beliefs.
And I could see in, Jen's face, she was really happy that Graham said that and was proud of her too.
Well, yeah, because Jen did not want Grams to go against her, like she always does.
Yeah.
And, we're seeing a different side of Grams, a better side. I like this side of her.
Me too.
Not so judgmental.
And then Dawson walks Joey home from the club. And that's when Joey asks about, like, if she's sexual, and wondered if Jack chose her because she's safe, just because she's a virgin. And Dawson said she's very sexy. I know that probably made you feel sick.
You like that?
No, I'm just saying, like, Joey is starting to have some insecurities about herself because of Jack's situation. And then the next morning.
Okay, so at school.
Yeah.
When they go back to Mr. Peterson's class. Is this where you were headed?
Nope.
Oh, but anyway, so they go there, and of course, Mr. Peterson is out for the day or whatever. And then they have to go to the library or whatever, for a study hall or whatever. It's just weird how they didn't have a sub fill in for that day.
Right. I guess they couldn't find one, but
I know, but the principal would have stepped in and like covered that class until they found a sub. That's what ours would do. But also, so I thought that was weird. And then, Pacey walks a little bit further and sees Mr. Peterson in the classroom.
Yep.
And so he goes to talk to him, which was very weird because they never really had closure. I guess this was their closure. And then, of course, Mr. Peterson was like, oh, I'm not going to talk to the school board.
Right.
And no, because he's too old. He needed to retire 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so then with that one, Mr. Peterson said, you came here to learn from me. I don't think Pacey had a choice, or anyone for that matter. He was hired from the school, so they were forced to have him as a teacher. It wasn't they chose him. I thought that was confusing.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think when he
Yeah.
said that?
Same.
I'm like, no, he didn't have a choice, idiot.
Mm-hmm.
And for the writers, really? He had a choice? Nobody would choose that class.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, here we go with the writers.
Yeah.
Bad writing. So what did you think, though, when Pacey went to the library and got the teacher's, what is it, the teacher's handbook?
No, it was the book of violations of the state bylaws on professional ethics for teachers.
Yeah. And can you believe he did all that in 20 minutes?
Well, I thought it was overnight because it was the next morning he brought it to the principal, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, but the librarian said you only have like 20 minutes because that's what time they closed.
Right. So he didn't check out the book, you don't think, for the night?
He must
I
have.
think he just had 20 minutes to find the right book.
Oh, well, because remember he was like, oh, this is going to take me hours. And she goes, no, 20 minutes. And I'm like, okay. Well, I'm hoping he
Maybe.
quickly found it and checked it out.
Yeah, because he said that he ended up like getting other students' stories about him and like,
Yeah, all in one night.
yeah. So he probably, in real life, there's no way he could have done that in one night.
One night.
Yeah.
And also talk to other students.
Mm-hmm.
You read that whole book and then you also talk to other students.
Right. Because
I don't think so. And like what? Wrote a report about it too to hand it in?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, even if he stayed up all night.
No, that doesn't make any sense to me. All in one night. He's just that good?
I guess. Yeah, because like unless he had email addresses of the students, like there's no way he could have talked to them so quickly like that. And if they were up late at night to even answer the email, if he did that, or phone call, whatever.
No, it's not believable.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he did it in the show.
Mm-hmm. And then just that scene to finish with Mr. Peterson, he ended up just basically quitting because he didn't want to bother going to the board meeting or whatever. And he was going to retire from 6 months anyhow, so at the end of the year. And then Pacey starts apologizing to him for everything he's done. And Peterson said that stunt was one of the few admirable, if I said that right, moments in your life. Don't ruin it with an apology. And then Pacey gets mad again, like, I gave you what you wanted and now you're, mad that I did it. And then Pacey, said like what you said about learning. He said that I've learned that respect isn't commanded by fear. It's earned through compassion. And Peterson, should I respect you? You're responsible for ending my career. Where's the compassion in that?
Oh my God, the dude was retiring.
I know.
And also, he shouldn't have made a student cry.
Mm-hmm.
And none of that would have happened.
Yeah.
Because Pacey would have just sat there in his seat and, with the failing grade. He would never have stood up for Jack if Mr. Peterson didn't do that. So maybe the dude shouldn't make. And like I said, I'm surprised it took the man 30, 40 years before this even happened.
Mm-hmm. And then with the scene with Andie and Jack's dad, apparently he had a work thing, so he had to leave. He said he'd be back in a few weeks, but of course that probably was going to be longer than that.
That dude ain't never coming back.
Yeah, so that's exactly why Jack told him just to not come back. They have everything under control.
Well, because Jack tells the truth.
Yep.
Finally.
Yeah, and Jack says that his dad isn't the one that cares about their family because he doesn't want to talk about Tim or their mom or the fact that Andie needs to take medication. So.
Well, and I was surprised I was surprised, happy, whatever, but that Jack was like, finally told his dad, like, Tim was like your son.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just different.
Yeah.
Like, like if anyone that you want around, it'd be Tim.
Mm-hmm.
And well, he's not here.
Yeah.
And you wonder too if like his dad was more around when Tim was there.
Mm-hmm. That could be, yeah.
And then all of a sudden now he's definitely AWOL.
Yeah, because he, only sees the flaws of his family. His wife is mentally ill. His daughter, is
also
on some level, and then his son's sexuality, like he just didn't want to deal with any of them.
Right. And Tim was like,
Perfect.
the perfect kid.
Mm-hmm.
And the one who probably played sports and got A's and all of that. Like, and then he's not there. So it's like, well, who would take over for me, in that light of success? And it's like, they all still can. I mean, that's what drove me crazy about that dad.
Mm-hmm.
But what did you think of that scene with Jack and his dad? And then Jack got all emotional.
Yeah.
And then Andie finally supported Jack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's when he asked him to ask him the question again if he's gay, and he says, his dad says that he isn't, but then Jack corrects him and says yes, he is, and that he knows that his dad knows, and that's why he treated Tim better, and then Jack just said that he can't keep ignoring it anymore because it hurts. Jack says he's sorry to his dad and Andie, and that's, when Andie comforts him, because this is, I think, where Andie finally sees
the truth.
Yeah, and that how hard this is for Jack to go through and everything, and then she just kind of like
she's just now realizing it.
Yeah, because before
the whole episode or the episode before, she just let her brother go on.
Yeah, I know.
And didn't support him, comfort him, anything.
Yeah, it just
she acted like she was in the spotlight.
Yeah, it just took seeing him with their dad, and then beforehand too, Jack did ask her if she's proud of their dad, because she was trying to get his approval. Be proud of her.
All she's doing is telling him all the good things she's done, and it's like, Andie, that's the only thing your dad cares about. If that's the only thing your dad cares about, it's not important for him to be around.
Yeah, so that question just made Andie think about, like, that she can't be proud of her dad and what he's doing, and how he's been acting recently with everything really in the last year since Tim died. So finally, Andie is the one that tells their dad to leave now, and he does, and then both Andie and Jack are left crying together.
The good thing is they have each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because think if you had to do that all by yourself.
Yeah.
Like stand up to your dad and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then deal with the rumor.
Mm-hmm.
And...
Yeah, and then at school, Pacey does hear from Jack because they run into each other at the principal's office again, and that's where Jack thanks Pacey for what he did for him, because now he sees, that it was a good thing that he did. He wasn't just trying to make things bad for him.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, just trying to help him.
Yes, I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's just
I'm
nice.
like my two favorite guys from the show.
Yeah.
See how I didn't put Dawson in that?
Yeah, and then it is nice just to see Pacey get along with his girlfriend's brother.
Exactly.
And then also Jack tells Joey that their date is back on, but of course that's only to break the news now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Joey's so excited.
Yep.
Poor Joey.
Yeah, so...
See, Joey really likes Jack.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, because he was so different from Dawson.
Mm-hmm. In the best possible way.
Yeah, and they had things in common, too.
In the best possible way, unlike that other couple.
Yeah.
That's why when Ty said that Dawson and Joey were a good couple, I was like, no, they're not. They weren't, and they're still not. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think you were watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surprised Jen didn't say, like, all they did was fight.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think she wanted to start anything.
Right.
And also, once again, Jen is still, like, out of this whole thing with the group.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. I want her back in the fold with the group.
Mm-hmm.
It makes more of a TV show if everyone's involved with each other.
Right.
And I don't mean romantically. I mean, like, friendship-wise.
Yeah.
Those are the best shows, is when everyone's together, being friends.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because you just had that last scene with Ty outside the swing.
Yeah, but it's been all just Ty for the past 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, they had a little bit of Dawson and Joey with them, but that was it.
Yeah. But it still seems like they're still kind of like on the rocks, like if they can't decide if they should date or not still after everything that happened still with Jack. And then, yeah, so Jack breaks it to Joey about, that he is gay, but he doesn't want to lose her and doesn't want to hurt her. And she thanks him for being honest because he's finally doing that. And he thanks her for being her, which I thought that was sweet. And then they do end up going back home. Well, Jack does, at least, to have Andie comfort him. And then Joey
yes. And then Joey goes running to Dawson's, climbs through his window, and lays on his bed and cries and has him comfort him.
Mm-hmm.
So gross.
Yeah, well, I thought they needed that scene because he was there for her when it all started and was checking in on her.
Nope.
Well, it was just the one scene where
No, because it's them trying to get these two back together.
Well, I saw them being friends again. That's what I saw.
Okay.
Being there for each other.
Whatever, because, they had that scene of them dancing in the episode. So we're just trying to they're just trying to shove it down our throats again that, they should be together. No, they shouldn't.
Yeah, like I say, I just see them coming back together as friends in this episode at least. And then not the last scene, but the last scene we haven't talked about yet was when Pacey and Andie make up. And I thought it was sweet how Pacey said that this last week without you has been a living hell, and I don't want to go through another moment like that.
Sure.
And yeah, and then Andie, with everything with her dad, Andie realizes that she just kind of molded Pacey into this person who she thought she needed him to be, because she thought like he could save her from herself, but she realized she doesn't need a knight in shining armor. She just needs a partner.
We'll see, Andie. You need a knight in shining armor.
No, I guess you know more than I do.
Yes, I do.
I just thought it was sweet how she said that she needs someone she can be proud to love and love her despite her faults. And that is Pacey, she said.
Well, of course it's Pacey. It's definitely not Dawson.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was the last thing we didn't cover. So
yeah, I think we covered everything else.
Yeah. I mean, compared to the other two-parter episode in this season, this one made more sense plot-wise because it was very obvious it was a two-parter, first of all.
Well, yeah. They couldn't put it all in one episode.
Yeah. I'm just saying that everything made sense and it connected. There weren't
No, like the last one where everyone's like on their dates and then all of a sudden, boom, someone slept together. Mm-hmm. It's like, what?
Yep.
Because none of those couples were ready to sleep with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that bothered me.
Yeah. And then highs and lows?
Highs and lows. My low was Andie's dad being annoying and not understanding and loving his son.
Mm-hmm.
And also Ty. He's the other low. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And then the best was, my high, though. I did like when Grams stood up to Ty.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, my...
it's hard because it all kind of goes together. So.
Right. Yeah, so my low was the whole scenes with Jack and his dad. And then the high was... I had it in my head, now it went away.
If you say Dawson.
No, not Dawson. I think just Jack staying up for himself, too, was also part of the high. To his dad, because he was, fighting against it for a while because he was, in denial of it.
Well, yeah, because when his dad first asked him, he's like, no.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when everyone has asked him, he's like, no. But finally, he's like, you know what? I'm just going to say it and see what everybody does or thinks.
Yeah. And then...
And, I was actually surprised, though, with this storyline. They didn't keep it going. Because he could have hid for a whole nother season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they didn't.
Right.
It was 2 episodes and boom, here's the truth and let's see what happens. Mm-hmm. Weren't you surprised that they didn't keep it going for at least till the end of the season?
Yeah. Yeah, I was.
Yeah, that was a little different. Because I feel, especially the 90s, I feel like they would have.
Yeah.
Like they would have been afraid to put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because TV shows in the 90s didn't really do that.
Yeah.
Especially in a teen drama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they didn't do that.
Yeah. And then, too, for at least most people, it definitely takes a lot longer to process everything.
Not just 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's about a week-ish.
Yeah, for each. So what, 2 weeks? Oh, all of a sudden, it's done and over with? No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because for myself, it actually took about 2 years. So not a whole freaking 1 or 2 weeks,
Right. And the fact that this just came out, the poem and everything, you would think it would take Jack a while to process it. And then to even have more time to get the nerve to bring it up. Not just overnight, I'm just going to tell everyone who means the most to me.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that would just happen. I wish we could have got a couple more episodes, at least to the end of season 2 of him debating and trying to hide it but also knowing the truth.
Yeah.
That would have been better, I think.
Yeah, more realistic.
Instead of rushing it. Yeah. I would like to watch that better. Yeah. And then what would you rate it?
Probably an 8. It was less stressful for me to watch than the first one.
I'm going to go with yours from the last one, 7. Because too many Dawson and Joey scenes. So they take it down a notch.
And then best and worst?
Yeah, what's your best and worst?
Well, my best was Jen, even though she wasn't part of the main plot. She still was standing up for Jack, even though he wasn't there, to tie. And then the worst is Andie and Jack's dad.
I can't believe you said Jen. Okay.
What's yours?
I'm actually surprised, though, you didn't say Dawson. Well, my best is Dawson.
Really?
Heck no.
Oh, I was going to say.
Are you kidding me? Season 1 was the last time I think I'll ever say it. No, the worst was Mr. McPhee.
Oh.
He was horrible.
Yeah.
At least Mr. Peterson had somewhat of like, you possibly could feel sorry for the dude, even though he started it. But yeah, so it was definitely Mr. McPhee was the worst, and the best was Pacey.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have to go back in there and talk to Mr. Peterson when Mr. Peterson was sitting there alone.
Right, yeah.
And he let Andie process. Like, he's just the best.
Thinking about others, yeah.
Yes, he's always thinking of others, not himself. So yes, he was the best in this one too. Yes, don't worry, you guys. There will come a time, I know when it's coming, okay, that he will not be the best and he will actually be the worst, okay? I know it's coming, okay? I just have to give him where his dues are. But no, I mean, yes. I mean, I would have picked Jen second, though. Because, yes, she did. But and why couldn't they just have a cute little Jen and Jack scene?
Yeah, they could have, yeah.
Like, come on now. That would have been nice to watch. Especially because Jen, out of anyone besides Pacey, Jen is the most supportive. Second to Pacey.
Yeah.
So I wish we could have seen Jen talk to Jack. Maybe, okay, that would have been a good story. Having Jack not feel comfortable telling anyone. So then Jen goes to him and then encourages him to like tell the truth.
Yeah.
Don't you think that would have been a whole better storyline?
Yeah, because he talked
than
to
him
her.
just randomly coming out and saying it?
Yeah, because he talked to her the last time with the whole
Yeah, and they were getting along.
Yeah. So I feel like if he was actually honest with her and told her that the reason why he didn't sleep with Joey is because he couldn't get up, I think he could have told her that too.
You love saying that part.
I'm just saying what happened, Britt. You're the one that always laughs when something like that comes up.
I'm only laughing because you just love saying it.
I'm bringing it up because it's part of the story.
But I'm just saying, I thought it'd be sweet if it was Jen and Jack having the sweet moment, and she's the one that like encourages him because she supports him to speak out. That would have been so much better than him just randomly blurting it out.
Yeah, like I said, he could have told her because if he can admit that, then he can admit, other things too. Yeah.
That'd have been better. See, we should have rolled the show. It'd have been a better storyline. And then she would have been in the fold of the group.
Yeah.
But of course, she really wasn't. All right, so what is the next episode?
Episode 16 of season 2, Be Careful What You Would Wish For.
Oh, Lord. These titles.
I mean, it does sound interesting. Something bad has to happen. When you use that title.
Yeah, but the last two, kind of something has happened.
Yeah.
Something bad.
So it might just continue.
Yep. We might be spiraling down of season 2. I will say, though, that overall, these last 2 episodes have been really good.
Yeah.
It's kept my attention. And again, most of season 2 have not.
Right. Me too.
What, the last like 6 to 8 episodes were not all in a row. They were just bad.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're finally getting somewhere. So please let episode 16 be good, because I want the rest of season 2 to be good.
Yeah, it'd be a shame if it just slowed down after this.
If they gave us 2 good episodes, then we'll give you some poor ones after this.
Mm-hmm.
No, we want happy ones. Come on now. Like, the cast is getting along. It looks like, the group. Come on now. Let's give us some happy moments
Yeah.
where they're all together having fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to see.
Me too.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Yep, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about the episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us at Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Duo Chat Podcast, and give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would really appreciate it.